So DevStream 134 has just ended. Railjack, everything you need to know about Railjack and how it works, power, squads, resources and so on. Welcome on in, you beautiful feckers, how you all doing? Now Railjack might be dropping as early as next week. Now that's just a guess from me, but it is a guess based on the fact that Rebecca will be at the Game Awards this week and will be doing some sort of special announcement. Also, a large known Twitch streamer recently mentioned today that he has been contacted about doing a Warframe stream on the 14th to show off new content. But that is just a guess on my behalf. Call me Mystic Potato if I am right, but time will tell, I guess we'll see. Now, the new War Quest will not be dropping this year. Big shocker, right? Who didn't see that coming? But the reason for it is that the new war will be an actual war, and an actual war that will break out in our star chart. Rising Tide was just the start of it and getting us ready to fight whatever it is that a Lotus has become. So the war has just begun. But anyway, DevStream 134 was all about Railjack. We got a very, very long detailed look at how everything will work and what extra you guys need to do in order to get ready for it. There will be a quest to get us the item that we're going to need in order to fly our Railjack out into space, basically finger bang your reliquary drive. We will need to craft more clan tech components like engines, guns, and I think it was reactors and so on as well. So your clan will need to research more items, and it looked like each one of these had their own tier. So the cannons, engine, shield relay and reactors all had 3 tiers to them. You seem to start with your Railjack with everything being tier 0, basically your Mark 1 weapons and so on, which you can then upgrade by replicating some of the ones that you have researched in your clan tech. Tier 0 seems to be, like I said, Mark 1 equivalent of weapons versus Tier 3 being better ones, with maybe some other stuff to drop later on as well. They kind of hinted at maybe being able to find better ones in missions. Now, the resources shown during the dev stream were pretty damn high, but we were told that these are not set in stone, they're not the proper values, and they are still tweaking them on the dev build. Now, solo play, which is something a lot of players have been asking for in relation to Railjack, what way is it going to work, is possible once this drops, but it is not recommended with the first version of Railjack because there is no AI crew, so you're going to have to run around yourself to different guns. But they will release a ship module later on that allows you to have an AI crew at a later date, maybe even a Kuva Lich crew, we don't know. But right now it's all about squad play and co-op. Solo is not locking you out, you can do it like I said, it's just not recommended that you do it. Honestly, it was a low level mission that they were running throughout the dev stream and it looked hectic as all hell, almost dungeon or raid-esque in terms of everyone needing to follow a role. Not so much in terms of, I guess, difficulty, but everyone needed to be on their toes and knew what they had to do. There was a lot of communication needed, so the roles were like pilot, gunner, missile crafter, fire putter, outer, eye candy, that's me. In fact, at one point of the stream, Rebecca asked Sheldon what level pilot he was, and he said he was level 3. So we can rank up our Railjack roles as well, which I will go over in a minute. Now, probably one of the biggest downers throughout this footage was us finding out that missiles, fire extinguishers, and a few other items will have to be replenished by using resources, which honestly I'm really not a fan of, but they are still developing the economy, or I guess the resource cost for these items. But having to find some of these resources in Railjack missions and in other missions as well, just in order to craft new missiles to run more Railjack missions, seems like a lot for us to be doing. There was a lot of micromanaging, which is why it's, I guess, currently not suited to solo play. You can pre-craft some of these missiles and so on before a mission, but if you run out during the mission, then you're going to need to craft them mid-mission, which is what I'm really not a fan of. Railjack's avionics are split into 3 different groups: Battle, Avionics, Tactical and Integrated. The Battle Avionics are your ship's abilities, which can be swapped in and out depending on what ones you want to use. We are being told there is a selection of different abilities. Anyone in your ship on a turret can use these abilities. These can also be leveled up with Avionic Endo, so we have a new type of Endo to farm as well. Endo that's only going to be used on your Railjack. Separate Endo. Big cheers. Tactical avionics are mods basically that function as ship powers, but we didn't get to see any of these in action. Integrated avionics had a grid of 9 slots, and these are basically your Railjack's passive abilities. So on stream, Rebecca had one of these passives equipped that basically reduced incendiary damage taken by 15%, which was manufactured by Lavan, and another that boosted turret damage by 19% when your Railjack's hull was below 20%. Sheldon then mentioned that different manufacturers, like the Lavan crowd, will give different mods, so I'm guessing that means maybe syndicates or vendors to buy these manufactured mods off. Also, the power management system they showed off months ago for Railjack is gone. Having to switch powers on and off in order to fit that 100 power capacity is no longer a thing, so you can have all of these turned on. The payload section of your Railjack is where you can pre-build items before your Railjack mission. Prepare by building missiles, dome charges, flux energy, and Revolite as well. These are the items that you will need, like I said earlier, to keep crafting when you run out of them mid-battle. Revolite might be the fire extinguisher, I'm not sure. Munitions, of course, is bound to be the missiles. The dome might be a protective bubble of some kind around your Railjack, but they're the items you will need to craft for your battle. Now, I'll be honest, the mission that they played during the dev stream had level 14 ships, and they were getting absolutely fucking wrecked by these level 14 ships. Dev mode saved them throughout the mission. It stopped them from dying, stopped the Railjack from being blown up. Ship's health was low a lot of the time, and it got boosted right back to full health quite often. So I'm not sure if Railjack's difficulty equates to the same as a normal mission, because the ships were level 14, but when Rebecca boarded some of these ships, the enemies on them were between level 40 and 50, I believe. So I'm not sure if it's the same. But then again, the ship that they were flying, the Railjack that they were actually using, everything was level 0. They hadn't got anything upgraded. So it was basically, I guess, your basic bitch Railjack. So maybe that's why it took so much damage. I'm not sure. Now, the Railjack's intrinsic system is the player progression system based around you. Not your Warframe, no RNG, just pure player skill level. And what role you want to play or what role you want to level up when running in your Railjack, whether it's pilot, tactical, gunnery and engineering, with another intrinsic to be added later on called command. And this will basically allow you to have an AI crew, which will allow you to run your Railjack solo. Now, during the stream, Rebecca had a rank 4 pilot intrinsic, which meant her Railjack had gained the passive abilities to engine boost, juke or dash, I guess. It took 50% less collision damage, which means, I guess, ramming speed ahead, and it had drift maneuvers as well, so a bit of survivability or, I guess, avoidance in there. So I'm sure other intrinsics like the gunnery and tactical will also give bonus passives for every level that you, the actual player, gain. This intrinsic progression system is meant to be a long-term progression system, so don't expect to level it up super fast. We're being told it's not something you're going to level up in a few days. It's, I guess, weeks or maybe even months. When you're looking to run a Railjack mission, you can form a crew or you can join a crew. So if you don't have a Railjack, then it doesn't matter. You can join a Railjack crew in order to run a Railjack mission. This is going to make public squads really, really interesting, because watching your Railjack go up in flames because Timmy doesn't know what a fucking fire extinguisher is as he stands licking the bloody window is going to be quite interesting. There will be commands that you can use to tell other players what you want them to do, which is bloody needed because this game mode looks like communication is essential. So either you're using the in-game voice or the squad chat, or else start using these actual commands on the command wheel to help your squad out, or else I would imagine your Railjack will just get blown up. Now, forming a Railjack crew will mean your ship and avionics gets used. Joining one, I think, means someone else's ship and avionics will be used. There is also apparently 8 points of interest for us to check out throughout these Railjack missions as well. Maybe the Orokin Towers that we've seen on previous dev streams where they went inside it and raided it for special mods. So who knows what else might be in there. Maybe that's where we will get more powerful upgrades for our Railjack. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see once we get to raid some of these Orokin Towers ourselves. Now, that's pretty much the whole dev stream. Sorry for this video being so long. I tend to try and keep these videos really short, but this dev stream had a lot of detail about Railjack, so you guys can wrap your heads around it as well. I will leave the link to the full dev stream in the description of this video if you want to go and check it out. It is, I think, maybe an hour and a half long, So if you fancy sitting through that and listening to Steve and Scott and Rebecca and Sheldon and Jeff all talking about the details in more detail than what I did, then the link is there. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.